Good afternoon. Thanks for joining me. We're going to do a little bit of yoga this afternoon. Also, fair warning, if somebody tries to join in, I'm going to get up and let them in. So I'll let you know the movements you need to do. If you see me scramble up to let somebody in, then no worries. Cool. We're going to get started. We are going to be using the floor space today. If you have a mat, great. If you don't have a mat, that's okay. Carpeted area is probably more comfortable. So we're going to begin laying down on our mat. You can also just stretch out a towel too. That works for you. And it's freezing in my house, but I'll take my socks off. Okay. So go ahead and find a comfy place to just lay. And let's just take notice of what's going on in our body right now. Oftentimes, doing mindfulness feels like the last thing we want to do because our monkey brain is going 100 miles an hour. But if we can just allow ourselves a few minutes of movement, of breathing, we can help to settle that monkey mind and make us feel a little more at ease. So what I want you to do is if you have your cell phone, I want you to put it on your belly. If you don't, you can just grab whatever's near. I'm going to use a block. We're just going to rest it there. And we're going to take some deep breaths. And I want you to breathe so deeply that your item that's on your stomach moves up and down. Okay, so let's go ahead and take a nice deep inhale. Filling our stomachs fill with air, and exhale. Feeling that item sink back down. Let's do that again. Breathing in and out. Breathing in and out. 2 more times on your own. We'll take that item, let's set it to the side. If it's your cell phone, I want you to set it to the side away from you and just kind of notice what that feels like to put it away. You're gonna feel maybe that tug of like, oh, but I wanna see what's happening. Oh, I don't want that to be over there. Just notice that feeling. Notice what's going on. It's not a bad feeling. Cell phone's really important. Just notice what it feels like to set the cell phone away where you can't see it. Next thing we're going to do is pulse count. So I want you to take 2 fingers to the side of your mouth, slide them down, and press gently inwards on the side of your neck. We're going to just, for 30 seconds, feel our pulse. Awesome. Gently bring that hand down and let's go ahead and lift up our right leg. You can maybe grab the back of it with your hands and just pull it towards yourself. Again, I say this often, but discomfort is different from pain. You want to feel a stretch. You might feel discomfort, but you don't want to feel pain. If you feel like burning or tearing or stinging, you need to ease out of the pose. And that goes for any pose in yoga. So let's take a moment to just point our toes, maybe flex the feet, whatever kind of movement you want to do. Maybe roll those feet out. If you're like me, you'll hear lots of little popping and cracking sounds. That's okay. It's just our body talking to us. Maybe roll it the other way. And then with your toe, I want you to write the word strength. Spelling doesn't matter. Just do your best. Beautiful. Bring that leg gently on down. Same thing other side, bringing the other leg up. You might find this leg is easier or harder, might feel more stiff or more loose. That's okay. Go ahead and point the toe, maybe flex the foot. Putting a bend in the knee is okay. Maybe roll that foot out. And then maybe roll it out the other way. And I want you to write the name of someone in your life that you know who is strong. Someone in your life that you know who is strong. Lovely. The next thing we're going to do is we're going to bring our knees to our chest, maybe rock side to side a little bit, just kind of giving that low back a massage. And then we're going to do our rock and roll, which is where we're going to come forward onto our hips and back. Do this a couple of times. You're just rocking on your hips, rock and roll. And after maybe 2 more, you're going to come to balancing on your hips into boat pose. Use your core here. It will help. We're balancing on our hips. Awesome. Gently lowering ourselves, coming to easy seats. I'm gonna do a few volcano breaths. Bring your hands up. Ooh, feel that stretch. Maybe like really spread your fingers out as wide as you can. Ooh. Palms together, bringing the hands to the heart. Here we go. We're going to breathe in. Retaining the breath, shoot the hands up and release. Like you're a volcano and lava is powerfully strong coming out of you. Breathing in. Channeling the strength of a volcano as we reach up and release. Sitting in our power. Feeling ourselves rooted to the ground. Strength emanating from us. Breathing in. Last one. Shooting the hands up. Really visualize the lava and the magma coming out of the volcano. The strength of the volcano we have today. And exhale. Beautiful. Come down to mountain pose. Excellent. What we're going to do is we're going to start, I'm going to adjust as we're going to be doing a little bit of a standing poses. I'm going to move my screen up a bit so you can see me better. Coming to the top of the mat, we're going to start off in mountain pose. So your feet are directly below your hips, shoulders are in line with hips. They're all stacked, one on top of the other. Little bend in the legs is okay. Shoulders are back and down, away from the ears, standing strong. And when you're ready, breathing in, we sweep the hands up or upward mountain. And exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift, making a flat back. You can bring your hands to the shins for that. Exhale, fold again. Inhale, take a step back. Drop the knee. And sweep the hands up. Low lunge. You can bring the top of your foot down. Stay here for a second. If it feels hard, like you're having trouble with balance, you can put your hands on your hips. That's okay. Make sure one hip is not jutting out in front of the other. Keep this right leg, my right leg is in the back, so I'm going to keep my right hip pulled backwards, like someone's pulling a string on that back hip. Again, engage the core here. Let it do some of the work. Beautiful. Bring the hands up again. If you haven't had them up already, float them down to where they're on either side of that foot. Tuck the toes in, bring that back leg up, step the other leg to meet it in a high plank pose. Now what we're going to do is we're going to gently lower ourselves down to the ground. You can do knee, chest, chin if you want. Exhale, bring yourself up for cobra. Careful of the neck. We don't want our head jutting up. Imagine you've got a hard-boiled egg in the crease of your neck and you've got to hold on to it. Exhale. Breathe in again. Since it's cobra pose, I want us to make a hissing sound as we come up. Breathe in. Exhale, push up and hiss. And lower yourself back down to the ground. Beautiful. Push yourself back up to a plank pose. Now into downward facing dog. You can pedal out the legs here if you want. Ooh, whatever kind of movements feel good to you. Bringing the left leg nice and high, the leg that you haven't used yet, and stepping it forward. Oops, I did the wrong leg, excuse me. Back to downward dog we go. If you did the right thing, good for you. Do as I say, not as I do, I guess. My right leg is coming up now. It hasn't been in the front yet. Coming up for low lunge, top of that back foot's down. Hands are up. Beautiful. Remember, you can keep them here, pulling that back hip back to where your hips are neutral. We don't have one side in front of the other, one side up. Completely neutral, completely level. Also watch this knee. Make sure it's stacked on top of the ankle, but not too far. Lovely. Float the hands down. Tuck those back toes in. Scoot it up. We're going to bring ourselves back to downward dog. And then we're going to take baby steps all the way to the top of the mat. We're going to hang out here for a second. My people who have back pain, especially if it just comes from sitting all day, grab your elbows here and just let yourself sway for a minute. Nod the head, yes. Shake the head, no. Just chill here for a second. If you're like me, you're going to start to feel gravity pull those vertebrae away from each other, and it's going to feel so good. Maybe that's just me and my wacky back, but this feels great. On your next inhale, slowly roll up. One vertebrae at a time. Ooh, bring those shoulders back. That was delightful. Holy moly. Next thing we're going to do is we're going to come into our chair pose. So from your mountain pose, let's sit low into the chair. This is where abs are really going to help. Driving those feet down to the ground. Feel yourself. This is a strength-based pose, so you need to feel very strong in your body. Sitting low, core engaged. Watch your breathing. On your next inhale, push yourself back up to standing. Lovely. I'm going to turn myself this way so you can see me better. You don't have to turn. We're going to move into tree pose now. So tree pose is the one that you see in the yoga books. When you think of yoga, people are usually doing this pose. So what we're going to do is I'm going to teach you how to do it the right way. You can be near a wall if you want. What we're going to do, we're going to take our foot and you can place it with the toes on the ground and the heel against your ankle. That's level one. That's okay. Not even like the word level. That's option one. Option two, you can put your foot up against your calf muscle. not on the knee, never on the knee. That's how you get injured. Option 3, you can take the foot and place it on the inside of the thigh, like this. Again, we're gonna watch our hips. We want them to be level. We don't want one hip high. We're gonna bring it nice and low. We also don't want one hip kicking out. We want it to be as balanced as possible. So go ahead and find your option for tree. And then you can have hands here at heart, hands on hip, that's okay, or hands out. Whatever works for you. Let's stay here for a second. Find a spot across the room to watch. And just stare at it. That'll be a great way to help maintain balance. Beautiful. Gently and with control, strength comes in the slowness of our movements. We're going to bring our foot down. You can shake that other leg out. It just did a lot of work. Thank you very much, Mr. Leg. Same thing, other side. So we're going to start off in our mountain pose. Go ahead and start shifting your weight onto this leg, which is now going to be our standing leg. And remember your options. You've got your heel against your ankle, your heel against your calf, or your heel against the inside of your thigh. Find the one that works for you. It might be different than what the other side was. Beautiful. And if you do step out of the pose, that's okay. Again, hands can be on the hips, at the heart, or extended upwards. Hips are neutral. Find your spot to look at and breathe. Trees are also very strong. Uprooting a tree is not an easy task. And trees also know when to bend so that they don't break. It's just like we need to bend when we encounter storms, or they will break us. Beautiful. Gently and with control, coming out of the pose, shaking the leg. Awesome. Meet me down on your back. Again, we're going to move into the last portion of our yoga series. So, first thing we're going to do is we're going to do a twist. So you're going to have your hands straight out, or you can do cactus arms, okay? What I want you to do, scoot your hips 2 inches to the right and drop your knees. They're going to stack on top of each other. If you can do this and this feels okay, you can look over your opposite shoulder. So my knees are pointed to the right. I'm now going to look over my left shoulder, keeping that shoulder on the ground. This is a beautiful pose for nervous system integration. Our spine is like our super highway. It's like the interstate of our body that all our nerve traffic goes on. We want to make sure that the traffic is flowing well. We don't have any blockages. We don't have anything holding this up. We'll make sure all the parts of our body are talking to each other seamlessly, and this is how we do it. Awesome. Bring your head back to center. Bring the knees back to center. Maybe rock that out. Ooh, push them away from you. Bring them back. Push them away. Bring them back. Same thing other side. You come back to neutral first. Then scoot yourself 2 inches to the right now. Drop your knees to the left. Arms should be out. Cactus arms or straight across. And if it's available to you, looking over that right shoulder. Watch your breathing here. Just notice what's going on. Are you breathing slower or faster than you were when you began? Bring the head back to center. Bring the knees back to center. You might have to adjust. And do whatever feels good to you now, whatever last movements you want to take. And when you're ready, we're going to extend the legs out for Shavasana, the final resting pose. Palms are upwards. You can kind of tuck your shoulders under the shoulder blades, under the shoulders if you want. I find that helpful. Feel free to use a blanket under the low back or under the knees. Whatever works for you. And we're just going to stay here for a few moments. And this time, I want you to think about a time when you felt very strong. Strong in your body or strong on the inside. I'm going to spend 1 minute thinking about that. About halfway through. And when you're ready, you can, if you closed your eyes, open them. You can also roll onto one side. And let's just stay there for a moment. Maybe give yourself a hug. And when you're ready, you can come up to meet me in a seated position. I wanted to talk about strength today because I think we live in a world where a lot of people think strength means who's the loudest, who's the physically strongest, who's maybe the harshest, who has the most power, even money, who shows the least emotion. But I think strength is very different. I think strength is a lot deeper than that. Strength can look like a lot of things, but I think the truest strength is knowing yourself, having compassion for yourself, and using that to be able to understand others. Not agree with others, not excuse and not hold accountable others, but understand others. Can you imagine a world where we had compassion for ourselves and compassion for other people? What strength it shows when we are able to see someone making choices that are maybe selfish in nature and go, that's not right, that's not okay, but I understand that you're going through some stuff. I understand that you're not doing that without feeling like you have to, because your life has led you to thinking this is an okay way to be. That's what strength is being able to understand others while having compassion for yourself, and also understanding that strength is also knowing because we have compassion for ourselves, that these people can't treat us a certain way. So that's what it is. Compassion for yourself, understanding and compassion for others. Thank you so much for joining me, and I hope you have a great rest of your day and be strong.